Hello folks, I'm David Hale along with Harold Knight, and we're going to be discussing your tip for today. The tip has to do with what is the difference between mid-morning hunting and early morning hunting. I know a lot of people, especially when we hunted in public hunting ground again, Harold, once the turkey quits gobbling, they ain't got a clue what to do.
Most of them quit.
Most of them go home, and that's what we like.
You know, lots of times I kept records, David, over the years when we killed the turkeys, would be after 9 o'clock, and that's certainly getting up mid-morning. What happens mid-morning, the reason I like to hunt mid-morning, you got to know what transition you're in.
That's right.
But if you're in the transition where these turkeys or hens are
slipping away,
you know, maybe going to lay an egg, you know, they'll slip away each day to go lay an egg there for several days. About 9 o'clock to 10 is when they do that. That old gobbler's sitting out here strutting, and he turns around, and he turns back around, and she's gone. And he panics. And he'll gobble a lot of times then. He might not have gobbled 3 times the whole morning, but about 9:30, 10 o'clock,
he's fired up, ain't he?
Gets fired up. And if you're lucky enough to hear that turkey or make that turkey gobble, most of the time he's an easy turkey to call in.
Well, I think one of the differences we want to discuss here is we'll call probably a little bit more in the mid-morning to try to find that turkey and to call to that turkey than we would in the early morning, because that turkey's on the roost, and we don't want to call a whole lot when he's on that roost.
Well, you're exactly right. I don't like to call a gobbler on the roost because most of the time the turkey's working me instead of me working the turkey. In other words, he's going to sit up there on that roost and
he wants to see the hen.
He wants to see that hen fly down before he comes down.
So the tip there is to try to let that gobbler get on the ground before you call to him.
That's correct. And anyway, when he does get on the ground, you know, and he's going to go to that hen 99% of the time if he can. He's going to go right to her. He knows where she's at. He's going to go to her. And then he's going to follow her around for like 2 or 3 hours. And he's not going to gobble much because he's got that old hen with him. But if he don't have a hen with him, he's going to gobble a lot more.
That's right. And he goes back to your transition period again.
That's exactly right. He's going to do a lot of strutting. So when that hen leaves him, he'll start gobbling again. And if you can get out there at 9:30, 10 o'clock, and this is where you do your running, gunning. You just take off walking from ridge to ridge or from bottom to bottom of whatever terrain you're hunting, and do a lot of calling. This is the time of year you can get by with a lot of loud calling, especially that time of day. You know, your acoustics are a lot louder that time of day than are real early in the morning.
Yeah, because there's more noise out there.
That's right.
You filtrate your air.
What I do, I call loud, and I'll call loud, and I'll cut and yelp loud, like.
Well, do you do that same thing flying down off the roost in the morning?
Well,
you imitate that fly down cackle?
Well, a fly down cackle, you know, with an old hen, she sit up there and she'll start off real low going. She'll walk around on that limb, and all once she'll go.
Are you going to use much of that?
Well, if that gobbler's on the ground and he's out there strutting and the hen hadn't flew down, and I want him to think this hen over here instead of the one he thinks going to fly down, think I'm a hen, you know. I want him to come to me. So I'm going to do that. I'll imitate that sound a lot of times. And I won't do it just once. Sometimes I'll do it 2 or 3 times, make him think it's 2 or 3 hens flying down.
One of the things I've noticed over the years, Harold, when the gobbler hits the ground and he shuts up and he doesn't say anymore, which is a common thing. He's got hens already with him, and for the next hour, he's going to be breeding them hens. They may not go very far, but that's his job. And as soon as that job gets done, them old hens will peck around with him for another hour or 2, and then they'll leave him. And once they start leaving him, that's when you can work on them. It may be 9 o'clock, maybe 10 o'clock, maybe 11 o'clock. But if he ever answers you real sharply, breaks in that calling on you, he's pretty much coming. He's had it.
That is a turkey that I like to hunt right there.